Alright, hello. Miss Trine's back, and we're going to go ahead and learn how to solve one-step inequalities. So we're on to our fourth objective. So if you guys want to turn to page 7, we can go ahead and get started. So the biggest thing I want to talk about before anything is just inverse operations. So you guys learned how to do this when we were solving equations, and it's very similar to one-step equations, is that you're going to have to get x by itself and isolate the variable to get all the numbers on the other side of the inequality to find out that value. So like I said, it is similar to solving equations. The only difference is that there is an inequality symbol, and you'll have to graph it on a number line when you're finished. Alright, so here's a little refresher on inverse operations. So we know if we have x plus b, to solve for x, we have to subtract b from each side to get your answer. And then you know if it's x minus b, you'll have to add b to both sides to get your answer. So that's a lot of people will draw that line in between to see that these will cancel out, and you can definitely do that for inequalities as well. So let's go ahead and get started with example number 1. We need to move over this 3, and how we do that is subtract by both sides, subtract by 3. So you can see that this 3 will cancel out, and you have x is greater than or equal to 1, because it's 4 minus 3. So let's go ahead and fill in our number line. We got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our negative numbers, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Alright, so now we got to see it's going to be open or closed circle. So since it has that equal to, we know it's going to be a closed circle. So a closed circle at 1. And now we have to figure out the direction of our line. So you have 0 is greater than or equal to 1. Is that true? No, that is false. So you want to draw away from 0. So we can include the numbers that are bigger than 1. And that's it for number 1. You solved your inequality and you graphed on your number line. So let's do that same process with some more examples. So if we go ahead and flip the page. Well, no, we got 2 more on this page. My apologies. So let's move over this 5. So add 5 on both sides. You see these ones cancel out. You got x is less than or equal to 15, because that's 10 plus 5. So this number line might be a little different because it won't include 0. So let's go ahead and start with 15 right here. Then we know we'll have 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 over here. And then we have to go our opposite direction. So that's 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10. 10. There we go. So we know that our closed circle is going to be closed because it has the equal to. It's going to be at 15. So go ahead and color in that circle. Now you do your testing point. So you have 0 is less than or equal to 15. Well, that's true. So you want to draw towards 0. You want to draw towards 0 because it's true. All right, so example number 3. We have to move over this 12. We're going to do that by adding 12 to both sides. You'll see these will cancel out. You have x is greater than 13. So go ahead and put your 13 here. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then your opposite direction, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So now we're going to have our open circle. So open at 13. And now you have to figure out which direction it goes. So you have 0 is greater than 13. Well, that's false. So your arrow is going to point away from 0. So it's going to include the numbers that are bigger than 13. So that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we finished our 3 examples. Now let's move on to our other 4. So we have to move over that 4. So add 4 on both sides. You'll see that these will cancel out. So you have x is greater than 17. So I'm going to do these number lines a little bit differently just so we can save some time. I'm just going to do some spacing. So I'm going to start here with 17. And then I'm going to kind of skip them. So I'm only going to be writing the odd numbers. So I'm going to have 16, 19. Then I'm going to have 21. And then on the opposite side, I'll have 15 here. And then 13 here. So if you can see in between, you've got 13 and 15. Well, this dash in between's got to be 14. This 15 through 17, this one before has to be 16. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just writing less numbers, but it does the same thing. So we're going to have an open circle at 17. So it's an open circle. And now you have to test it. So you have 0 is greater than 17. Well, that's false. That is false. So we're going to point it away from 0. And we're going to include the numbers that are bigger than 17. Alright, so example number 2. We need to move over this 2. And we'll do that by subtracting 2 from each side. So you can see that these will cancel out, and you're left with x is less than 11 minus 2 gives you 9. So once again, I'm going to do my number line like how I did before. So I'll have my 9, 11, 13, 7 on this side, and 5 on that side. So you can see I'm just kind of skipping it, so it only shows that. Alright, so now we got to figure out if it's open or closed. So that's going to be open circle. Open. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Open circle at 9. Now you got to do your testing point. So you have 0 is less than 9. Well, that's true. So you want to draw your arrow towards 0 because it includes the numbers that are less than 9. And that's all. So we have 2 more problems that we're going to talk through. We have 3 and 4. So we have to move over this 15. You're going to do so by adding 15 to both sides. So we have x is greater than or equal to 17. So now what we want to do is go ahead and graph it on that number line. So like I did before, I'm going to put my 17, 19, 21, 15, 13 here. So it kind of gives us a little bit more room. So we're going to have our closed circle at 17. And now you got to figure out which direction it goes. So is 0 greater than 17 or equal to 17? I don't think so. So that is false. So our arrow is going to point away, and it's going to include the numbers that are bigger than 17. And then lastly, number 4. So let's move over our 7 by subtracting. So these will cancel out. So we have x is less than or equal to negative 7. So we'll put our 0 here, and let's just fill in this entire number line. So we'll have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. And then 1, 2, 3. Got our positive numbers. Alright. So we're going to have our closed circle at negative 7 because it's equal to. So we got our closed circle. And now we're going to do our testing point. So we have 0 is less than or equal to negative 7. Well, that is not true. So you don't want to draw it towards 0. You want to draw it the opposite way. So it would include negative 8 and negative 9 and negative 10. And that is all. So I leave you here today with an inequality joke. If you guys have any questions on your worksheet, please let us know. Thank you and goodbye.